Welcome back to Ben's Book Club. Today we are diving into the book Only You, The Unexpected Gift of Being Alone. This explainer is absolutely going to change how you look at your solo time. The author, Dr. Marny Lishman, is this brilliant psychologist with over 15 years of clinical experience as a therapist and mindset coach. She draws on her huge professional background, plus her own personal journey through heartbreak, to really challenge the narrative that being single is some kind of problem you need to fix. Instead, she reframes it as an incredible, massive opportunity for personal empowerment. Okay, let's dive into this. 1 in 6. The World Health Organization actually named loneliness a global public health priority for the year 2025. They noted that roughly 1 in 6 people worldwide report feeling lonely. It's a genuine epidemic. And, well, this sets the stakes perfectly for our explainer today. We desperately need to rethink singleness and, our relationship with ourselves. Because the societal rush to constantly cure being single by just jumping into random relationships, that might actually be making this global loneliness problem a whole lot worse.
That brings us right into the first major section of Dr. Lishman's framework. Part 1, being alone doesn't have to be lonely.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Dr. Lishman does something vital. She separates the physical state of being alone from the emotional ache of loneliness. It's a stark contrast, right? Being alone, when you frame it correctly, is a chosen, empowering state. It acts as a protective shield and creates this massive space for profound personal growth. But on the flip side, being lonely is a painful disconnection. And the terrifying truth is that you can experience profound loneliness in a crowded room. Or, and this is a big one, even when you're married to the wrong person. This brings us to a foundational concept. As Dr. Lishman puts it, the most important relationship you'll ever have in your life is the one that you have with yourself. I mean, this brilliantly illustrates the core thesis of the book. Solitude is a superpower. It is not a void that you need to frantically fill with another person. Learning to thrive in your own company is arguably the single most transformative gift you could ever give yourself. But society obviously doesn't make this easy. We so often fall into what Dr. Leishman calls the waiting room fallacy. Society basically conditions us from a super young age to just put our lives on hold. We delay buying a house, we postpone traveling the world, or we wait to use the good china. We act like we're saving our best plates for some future romantic partner, only to end up eating takeout over the sink. We're literally treating our single years like a waiting room instead of living our actual lives.
So I've got to ask you this directly. Are you treating your single years like a waiting room? Think about the things you have delayed doing simply because you didn't want to do them alone. I want to challenge you right now to stop delaying your life. We have to shift our mindset entirely away from this outdated cultural narrative that solo is sad and realize that solo is a superpower. You do not need a partner to start living a full, joyful life right this second.
Let's move to and see how this builds into the second phase of our journey, Part 2, From Heartbreak to Healing. This section is incredibly relatable because it tackles the raw fallout and the messy middle of breakups, divorce, and that chronic dating fatigue so many people are experiencing today. A major hazard when a quiet house suddenly feels totally overwhelming is rebound culture. This is basically jumping into the next convenient relationship just to numb the discomfort. Dr. Lishman warns that this happens when we lack emotional resilience. If you can't sit quietly in a room with your own thoughts and emotions, you'll do almost anything to escape that discomfort. And yeah, that usually means jumping into relationships that aren't actually good for you. So the crucial point is, mastering solitude makes you highly selective. When you genuinely love your own company, you become downright dangerous in the dating market. Why? Because you can no longer be lowballed. You have built a fulfilling life that isn't dependent on a romantic partnership, and that gives you the immense power and the discernment to never settle for less than you truly deserve. To understand why sitting with ourselves is so difficult initially, we have to compare our modern state of constant connection with true solitude. In our world of phones and social media, we're just constantly overstimulated. It is quite literally frying our brains and acting as a tool for numbing emotional discomfort. But on the other hand, intentional time alone is a massive catalyst for deep creativity. It allows for profound reflection, and most importantly, it's a tool for nervous system regulation. Disconnecting to just be with yourself is a biological and restorative necessity. That perfectly guides us into the final section of our explainer, Part 3, Being Only You, the Solo Playbook. This playbook is where Dr. Lishman gives us highly tactical strategies for building an independent life, whether you're single for a season or embracing it indefinitely. It all starts with emotional mastery. First, process breakups without rushing. You literally cannot speedrun your grief. Second, sit with discomfort. When the silence gets loud, stay in it. Third, master your mindset. And fourth, develop self-compassion. True healing is rarely linear, right? It's messy, it's unpredictable, but dedicating yourself to intentional solitude actually accelerates this healing process, building the absolute bedrock resilience you need to thrive. And to help with that process, the book offers this amazing, tangible asset, 101 lovely things to do when you're alone. This isn't just some abstract theory, it's a highly practical checklist. It's a really fun, actionable guide designed to help you start practicing intentional solitude. You get to actually enjoy the time you spend exclusively with yourself without feeling like you're somehow missing out. Some of these specific activities on that list include a solo cinema trip, dining alone at a nice restaurant, taking an uninterrupted road trip, or wandering through museum exhibits. I want to playfully challenge you right now. Do you find the idea of these activities deeply relaxing or incredibly awkward? Because if you feel awkward, that is exactly why you need to try them. Pushing past that discomfort is exactly how you build the muscle of self-sufficiency. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to take with you. How will you use your alone time this week? I want to challenge you to take a look at Dr. Lishman's concepts and pick just one solo activity to try in the next few days. Instead of automatically reaching for your phone or texting a friend just to avoid your own company, lean into the solitude. Treat yourself to an experience and see what happens when you truly connect with yourself. Stop putting your life on hold. You already have everything you need right now to build a rich, vibrant, and incredibly meaningful life. Mastering the art of being alone truly is an unexpected gift, and it starts the very moment you decide your own company is entirely enough. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode.